Today, we're talking about pescatarians. So what is a pescatarian? And why does autocorrect still not know that it's a real word? Pesce in Italian means fish, so a pescatarian is a fish vegetarian, basically a vegetarian who eats seafood. Someone who follows a pescatarian diet would eat all seafood, fruits, vegetables, grains, beans, nuts, eggs, and dairy products. They do not eat land animals or birds such as beef, pork, chicken, or turkey. Why do people choose this lifestyle? Ethical reasons for the mistreatment of animals, as a transition to vegetarianism, wanting to avoid the hormones and chemicals in land animals, and because it's better for our planet. There is one concern that pescatarians need to be made aware of. All fish have traces of mercury, so stick to eating 12 ounces or less every week. You can get your protein from other sources like beans, eggs, cheese, organic tofu, and whey protein. We highly recommend taking 1 teaspoon of bentonite clay a day as it's an herbal remedy.
My name is Miley, and today I'll be talking about why the pescatarian diet is a healthier choice. Attached to this video, I will have a link to a YouTube video explaining what a pescatarian diet is. I hope you enjoy it, and now I'm going to get into my speech. At some point, we're going to all die, but what if I told you there was one way we could all live? We could live a little bit longer. This is why we should switch to a pescatarian diet, is because 1, it'll help save the planet, 2, it'll improve our health, and lastly, I'm going to talk about why our teeth and just our human species aren't necessarily built to eat meat. Pescatarian diet will reduce your risk for many diseases, including your risk for heart disease, other cardiovascular diseases, stroke, obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, and some cancers. According to the Yale College Vegetarian Society, experts say 80% of cancer cases are preventable through healthy diets that contain low amounts of fats and oils and high amounts of fiber. Every bite of beef and pork, most people say we need protein, we need fiber, we need all type of things that come from eating meat. But if you do your research, you'll find that there's a lot of vegetables and fruits and whole grains that can substitute for meat, and they're better choices. For all the iron we need, fish has a lot of iron, many fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Protein needed comes from consuming a healthy percentage of whole grains, tofu, and many plant sources. Fish has omega-3 fatty acids, which have been connected to possible treatments. Which contains a lot of iron. And you can also get iron from vegetables, many fruits, whole grains, and a lot of protein comes from consuming a healthy percentage of whole grains, tofu, and many plant sources. Fish has omega-3 fatty acids, which have been connected to possible treatment. Now on to my next main point, why it'll help save the planet. In order to produce meat for us to eat, beef requires 2,500 gallons of water, whereas 1 pound of soy requires 250 gallons of water, and wheat only 25 gallons. So all the water we could be saving and using for the planet, we're using to produce meat, and it's kind of a waste. Hamburger, 55 square feet of forest was destroyed. So when we have to make more room to produce animals and to make more meat products, we're cutting down trees. We need trees to produce oxygen, which help us breathe. So all of this leads to deforestation, and we're taking away from our oxygen, cutting down trees. We're also not really helping us, because the food we're feeding animals, corn and other whole grains, we could be using to feed homeless people all around the world, because about 6 million people starve every day due to not having enough food or not having food at all. But that food that we're using to feed animals, we could use to feed our population. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, nearly 10 billion animals are raised and killed every year. Farming contributes to 30% of global methane emissions, and methane has 20 times the global warming potential of CO2. So, to produce meat, we're letting off gases into the population, which also affect a lot of other things. I believe those emissions are equivalent to cars. So if we cut back on producing meat and went on a vegetarian diet, we would help eliminate some of the global warming. My main point is humans aren't carnivorous creatures, meaning that fish digest quicker than red meat. Our teeth, jaw, and nails prove that we are not supposed to eat meat due to the fact that if we wanted to just go out right now and buy a cow, we wouldn't be able to do it with just our teeth nor our hands. We don't have the features or the physical traits to do that. We also can't eat raw meat. We can't eat raw fish. The thing is, our stomachs don't digest or take in raw meat because raw meat has bacteria. So to get rid of the bacteria, we have to cook the meat. But an animal or a carnivore can just go out and eat a cow or eat anything and won't get sick because their bodies are meant to digest raw meat. But we are naturally born plant eaters. We just eat meat for, I want to say, maybe for taste, or I think I seen on when I was doing research that during the caveman times they were running out of plant food, so they had to start hunting meat, and that's just where the whole meat diet came from. Flat molars, meaning that our teeth is really used to eat plants. In conclusion to all of this, I feel like not only a diet isn't just to save the planet or just to save the animals, I also just feel like it's healthier. We should want to take care of our bodies. We should want to eat better, eat healthier, because we are the next generation. So if we're not taking care of ourselves, then how do we know that society will go on any further than what it is? And there's other diets. There's vegetarian, there's vegan, there's pescatarian, or even just eating less meat is better than eating meat constantly. So I hope you enjoyed my speech.